Welcome to the sdroW channel and the Code Wars series, where we solve katas from the Code Wars website in Rust for fun. So let's get to it. Today's kata is called Stop gninnipS my sdroW, or Stop Spinning My Words. The task is to write a function that takes in a string of one or more words and returns the same string, but with all words that have 5 or more letters reversed, just like the name of this kata. Strings passed in will consist of only letters and spaces. Spaces will be included only when more than one word is present. So, here in the example section, we see examples where, the exact description here is applied. And this seems like a pretty straightforward kata. And down here we have a test as always, and here our code with the to-do macro. And let's copy this over to Visual Studio Code and get started. So in Visual Studio Code, we have our usual setup. We have the link to the kata up here, the description of a task, and the examples that were included. And additionally, we have the code we need to implement here, and down here we have our tests. So then let's first think about how we want to actually implement this. So let's sketch the problem. We can simply, to solve this, go over each word in our words and then check whether this word is greater, or if the length of this word is greater or equal to 5. And if that is the case, then we simply, let's do it like this. If word is greater than, we simply want to reverse the word, and otherwise we do nothing. We just return the word. And in the end, we just want to join over all of them, and that would be our return value. In Rust, we can do it pretty similar. We can simply split our words on the space. And what that does is give us each of those words we want to check for the length, as our words here are separated by spaces. So what we can do now is we can call the map function. And the map function takes in a closure, where this closure is applied to each word or each value in the collection over which we iterate, and the return value will then be used in the further iteration. So we simply map our input to the output of our closure. And what we want to be the output is this part of our little sketch here. We want to check if the word's length is greater or equal to 5. And in that case, we want to reverse it. And otherwise, we just want to return the word. Now, to implement that properly, we can check if the word length is greater or equal to 5. And in that case, we now can iterate over the chars in our word, and then we can reverse them with the reverse function, which is part of the iterator. And then we can simply join them with nothing, as we want a space that is separated, a string that is separated by nothing, as we iterated over the single characters, and we want to reconstruct the word. And now we can make the else branch and simply return the word here. So if we remove the to-do macro and just return what we have here, then we now get an error here. And the reason for that error is that one path returns a string, owned string, and the other contains a string reference. The string reference in this case is the word here, because we simply get a string reference when we call the split method. So what we can do here is we can simply call toString to get an owned string from this path here instead of a string reference. We have to do it this way and not make this a reference, as this would not outlive the closure. So we have to own the value that we returned here, and so we call toString on the reference type. So, and now the simple problem the program has right now is that we are not returning a string, but we're returning an iteration over the over strings. And what we have to do is we have to reverse the split from the beginning and simply join all our words back with the space. And if we run the tests now, we can see that all our tests passed. Now, without further ado, I would simply go back to Code Wars and submit our answer. Now, back in Code Wars, I have copied all our code with our little helpful comments, and now we can simply attempt it. And as we can see, all tests are running through, and we can submit our solution. And for this Kata, looking at the other solutions, there's not really an interesting approach. Here, split ASCII whitespace is used instead of using our split and passing in the whitespace. And the match also has the same effect as the if. And nothing really divergent from our solution. Most people didn't use the iter tools. Here, this person used the iter tools like we did, and then could use the join function, where other people who didn't import the iter tools had to first collect to a vector and then use the join. The iter tools provide this join function, which directly joins our solution instead of first having to call the collect. And otherwise there's nothing really different to ours. Most had a pretty similar approach to this problem. I would wrap it up here. I hope you had fun with the video and learned something about Rust, and I hope I will see you in the next one.